Deception is a survival skill. People use it to get what they want or to avoid trouble. In the world of magic, we are the ones being deceived, and we know it. What we see is an illusion, but the experience is very real. Simple card tricks may seem trivial in our complex technological world, but magic evokes a sense of wonder, which is how ancient humans move forward again and again, from wheels and printing presses to our cars, computers, rockets, and robots.
In a world where everything is explained every second of every day on your phone, and it still offers you a little bit of mystery that you might not be able to get elsewhere.
Even with our modern minds, we are not much better at deciphering that magic trick.
People are down for the mysterious, and what is deeper and more immersive than you actually making something magic happen in your own darn hands?
After millions of years of evolution, our senses still deceive us. Our experience is limited. Our memories aren't as accurate as we think. People lie.
The entire world largely is a world of illusion. All magicians do when we manipulate reality to do seemingly impossible things is we communicate to the audience reality can be manipulated.
One at a time, we'll make each of the 10 cards that you chose, each and every one of them, will magically travel up my sleeve.
Dennis Watkins is a third-generation magician.
And then make its way down into my empty pocket. My granddad, he was part of the Texas Association of Magicians.
His grandfather ran a magic shop that distributed the country's first mail-order magic catalog, and he was a self-taught magician.
I sort of grew up watching it and experiencing it and fell in love with it from the time I was a little bitty kid. Because one has made its way to my pocket. That is the 9 of clubs. Huzzah! There's one.
There are no elephants or fog here at the Magic Parlor. Dennis Watkins performs close-up magic.
I became more and more in love with magic that was less about what happens 30 feet away from you and what happens in the space right between us, right? And that's where I find the most magic.
We are bombarded by screens, information. Perhaps magic is needed now more than ever. Sure, the deception of drama offers an artistic escape from reality, but with the deception of magic, you're in the room where it happens.
It's the moment that it happens, that shared revelation where that guy gets to go, what? And you get to see that happen. That's the moment.
Magic, or deception, goes back centuries, like the old shell game.
All the moves that we do, all the sleight of hand that's involved there was originally intended to take your money from you.
Simsalabim.
And now we do it, I guess, a little bit more graciously than we did in the past, right?
If you really go far back into ancient Egyptian times, there are records of people performing for pharaohs and doing magic tricks.
Gabe Fajuri's Potter & Potter Auctions has a collection of magic history. This is a second edition of Discovery of Witchcraft. The first edition, published in 1584, is reportedly the first book in the English language to explain that a wizard's magic is not some supernatural power, it's just a trick. This is happening at a time in history when witch hunts are going on, is that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no coincidence there. I mean, this is explaining all kinds of things. So kind of given as not an expose so much, but as a refutation of the idea that all these things were happening by nefarious means, right?
This contraption is from Germany, 1890. You set the numbered blocks in order, and the magician reveals your choice.
And while we don't normally reveal the secrets here, this one's a little antiquated, no one's using it anymore. If I slide up the top of the box, you'll notice there's 4 miniature compasses inside the box. Each one of those little blocks has a magnet inside of it. So, depending on the order you arrange them, this one will point to this and this and this and so on, telling you the order of the blocks locked inside the box. So, old world craftsmanship with kind of, you're talking about science and technology of the time, that's pretty revolutionary.
Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin transitions from watchmaker to inventor and artist, infusing magic and technology. He's considered the father of modern magic. He performs the miraculous orange tree, as depicted in the movie The Illusionist.
He was the first person to get rid of the pointy hat and the long robes and the trappings of this kind of wizarddom.
Robert Houdin inspires a young man named Eric Weiss, who changes his stage name to Houdini. But he's less of a stage magician and more of an escape artist. Straitjackets, jail cells, escaping death. He uses his knowledge of deception to expose psychics as frauds, and he inspires future generations with his imagination and showmanship.
We can kind of think of Houdini as maybe one of the first superheroes of pop culture, right? He was telling a story that he could live a life without limitations.
Tell us who this is.
That's Adelaide Herman, known in her day as the Queen of Magic.
And what was her big trick, do you know?
She caught bullets that were fired out of a gun on that plate that's held in her hand. So all these marksmen would load their rifles and aim and fire at her, and she would catch the marked bullets on that plate.
Let's take a look at this first book. Tell us what this is.
So this is one of the annual scrapbooks from what was known as the Chicago Magic Roundtable, which met...
This artifact is a one-of-a-kind item, a scrapbook from the Chicago Magic Roundtable.
Members who were attending that day's luncheon would sign in, many of them famous magicians, right? And they're there to swap gossip and swap tricks and things.
Did Chicago play any particular role in the evolution of magic, whether it's the art form or the business?
Yeah, I would say that it was, some people would say it was the first city of close-up magic anyway.
Now, I'll take the box shade. You look through the cards and let us know when you see yours.
I got started in magic when I was a little kid. I just came to my preschool, and I was just like, that's for me.
What was your card? What was it?
A century later, magicians in Chicago like Benjamin Barnes are still performing close-up magic. Why does magic matter?
One of the reasons why people need it is it lets you know that you have agency in your life. The life that you've been given isn't the life that you're stuck with. You have the power to make changes in your life in ways that at first may seem impossible.
Barnes performs at the Chicago Magic Lounge. The deception on stage is a lesson in critical thinking. It teaches you to look at things from different angles.
That's why magic fools people so much, because we're trained to think in a linear fashion, and magicians we zig and zag in ways that intelligent, smart people don't think. We think of things logically in a progression, and magicians go boop, 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 boop. Watch how they go over my fingers and my thumbs, like so. Clearly I can't go through the middle or around the sides.
Right.
Just a little blow. My job is to make the audience aware of how magical they are. And the tricks are just there to facilitate that.
Magic shows us the limits of our perception and challenges our sense of certainty. But most importantly, it inspires us to wonder.
Every dream I had as a child came true. And it came true because I had the courage to dream it. And that's what magic encourages us all to do.